Hello there, M. Ortiz. How are you doing? How are you doing? Is that handstand? How are you? Hey, Dawn, how you doing? Hey, Robin, Elizabeth, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, everybody. Said culture D pearl images. Okay, cultured pearl image, not D. Culture cultured pearl images. There we go. Cultured pearl images. I would love to see you. Do you do do you do a lot of like crafts? Excuse me. Do you do crafts, or do you like make products like jewelry or anything like that? Hello, ID 010503. How are you? Hey, Vanessa from Ohio. Hey, Denise. Well, thank you so much. Hey, Pamela. Aloha to you too. Hey, just be real. How are you doing? Thank you so much for taking care of thinking of me. Hey, Black. How are you? And that's SC Gilliard. How are you doing? Hello, everybody. Hey, Miss Champion. Hey, Valerie, how are you doing? Hey there, Danielle, how are you doing? You see me? Thank you. Hello, everybody. How are you doing this evening? Hello, hello. Hey, Nikki. Nikki's Vibe. Jonna from St. Louis. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Hey, George, how are you doing, sir? Hello, thank you for being here. Hey, Jill in California. Well, I'll be there next year. Hey, Carmela, how are you? How are you doing? Hey, Jesus girl Betty, how are you? Hey, Helene, Palmetto, Georgia, how are you? Hi, bright like a diamond. Okay, hi, Carrie, Stony. How are you, Brooke? How are you doing? How are you doing? Hello, Susie. How are you doing, ma'am? Good to see you guys. Excuse me. Woo, excuse me. Hey, Hash Brown, how are you? How are you? Good to see you. I am doing great, Miss Valerie. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Crystal. Is that hey girl? Is that little Jay? That's my baby girl. Hey, little Jay. There's be my little baby in the military. Hey, it costs to be free. Hey, Sandy Lou, long time no see. Kiko, hello, Kaya. Little Jay, who's my little black Barbie doll on here. Used to be my soldier in the military. That was my baby in the military. Bo Black Barbie. There we go. Used to be my baby girl in the military. She grew up like one of my children. And then turned around and took care of my kids in the military. Small world, huh? Hey, Mimi. Hey, girl, with your pretty self. My cousin, Mimi. You got Demetria Patrick. That's my cousin, y'all. My for real cousin. And you got some of you got play cousin. That's my for real cousin. That's my cousin. Hey, Mimi. Tell Auntie Dean I said, hey. Hey, Sabrina. How are you? Talia Swain Fuller. How are you doing? I'm doing good, handstand. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. How are you guys doing? Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Mimi, I know y'all cooked. I knew y'all threw down in the kitchen. I burnt the whole kitchen down, didn't you? I know y'all threw down. Hey, Wendy Walker, how are you? All is well. Thank you for asking. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you doing? Oh, Mimi, I got to text you. I got to call you. I got something to ask you. I know y'all had a bunch of food. I know y'all went to sleep as soon as y'all ate. As soon as y'all ate. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna text you, see if you're available. I gotta ask you something. Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Hey Beth, how you doing? I'm gonna wait just a few more minutes, then I'm gonna open up Clubhouse. How's everybody doing? I always say I'm not gonna be long. I'm not gonna be long. I'm actually tired. I'm still full of Thanksgiving. Woo! Hopefully you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hey Stace Williams, how are you? God bless you too. I know you are. Me too. Me too. Hello, Princess Greer. How are you? Hey girl. Okay, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Hey everybody. Sandy Lou, I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? Shallow, it's me. How are you doing? Thank you so much, Nikki. Hi, Cassandra. Well, I'm glad you tuned in and give you something to listen to. Well, y'all, so you guys ready? Everybody ready? Hey, Miss Barbara, how are you? You remind me of, I remind you of Sheila. That was my girl. Back in the day, back in the 80s, just because of Sheila E., I wanted to be a drummer. I just never quite made it to the drum. But because of Sheila E., I always wanted to be a drummer. I used to love me some Sheila E. Oh, I used to love me some Sheila E. The whole family, the Estevez family. Boy, they some talented folks. All percussions and all that. Yes, yes. Hey, White Eyes, how are you? You ready? All right, all right, all right. Eroni, how are you? Happy holidays to you too, ma'am. Shayna, how are you? Mad Shot 1977. All righty. Okay, y'all ready? Y'all ready? All righty. Well, let's go ahead. Let's turn on our clubhouse and let's talk about some things. Some of these things I think tonight you might want to hear because some of these things are obviously about you know, and it's not to point your fingers because I was one of those people as well. So, those of you that do not know, I am a survivor of narcissist abuse. Many, many years. I'm in my 50s. And so 40 some odd years, because I will not say 50 some odd years. I kept saying 50 some odd years, but that's not true. You know, I'll say 40 some odd years because I got out of the situationships, you know. So and 22 years of marriage, you know, well, 20 years of marriage, 22 years of situationship. And so those of you that are survivors of narcissist abuse do know that I am a fellow survivor. I just took it, monetized it, started talking about it, educate you about it. And I travel around the United States and I talk about it. So during the summertime, I travel throughout the United States and I talk about it. For some of you guys know that people do call me as speakers at their events, church events as well. Those of you know that I'm also a minister, so I do speak at church events, and it sometimes it's not about narcissist abuse, but relationships as well. And so I do travel throughout the nation, our nation, and so you love Sheila E too? Yeah, that was my girl. She talented, love her. But yes, so for those of you, not only am I a therapist, I am a licensed mental health therapist. Let me turn on Clubhouse because I just started talking. Let me turn on Clubhouse. Okay, let's get the folks on Clubhouse. Those of you that also have Clubhouse do know that usually I do some teaching on the social media apps that you can see me on. I'm on Twitter, I am on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I am on Instagram, and I am on Facebook. And I am also over here on Clubhouse. So for those of you, hey Betty, with your pretty self. Miss Betty, I saw a picture of you and I pulled it up and looked at you. You know, you are absolutely gorgeous. You are beautiful. Hi, Amaya, Lisa, Ernestine, Zenab. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Hey, Zafir, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you, like I said, I am on the social media apps where you can see me. And so I usually do teachings on narcissist abuse. I pick topics on Sunday evenings for us to talk about and educate you about. I love educating. I am a mental health counselor. I'm a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Washington. I'm also a certified clinical trauma professional. I'm a public speaker. I'm an author. Those of you may have heard my book. If you have not, please go get it, especially for the holidays, Christmas holidays, and be a stocking stuffer. My book is called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. If you can't recall the name, just put Dr. Carmen Bryant into your Google search or into Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or if you are overseas, sometimes people have a hard time getting it shipped, like through Amazon and Barnes and Noble. You can go to Westbow Press and Just Be Real will put that information out there for you guys. But it is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. That book was written about women that have been through narcissist abuse, what their thought process were, and you can find yourself in those situations, whether you're a corporate woman, whether you're a married woman, whether you are a mother, you know, whether you are a daughter of a narcissist, you know, all these things, you know, because you feel bad or sometimes you're embarrassed about how you were thinking, why you did the things you did, you know, and sometimes it's hard to express or tell people why you were doing the things, even though it is irrational. but why you were doing the things and what you were thinking and how you were taught to think the way that you think. And so this book just brings out, let you know where you are and that you are not crazy, that other people have been through the situation as well. And I'm also a public speaker. I am a minister. Those of you know my mother, Apostle Helen Sadler, your destiny helper. I am a minister in Into His, under the ministerial alliance with Into His Chambers Global Ministries. I believe in the whole person concept. I do believe in psychology. I do believe in therapy. I do believe find yourself a good trauma professional, a good therapist that can work you through the clinical side, the professional side of mental health, trauma, a trauma professional that can help you. I am a coach, and I do have coaches on here. Hey, Mr. Christopher, how you doing, sir? People like Karen Smith. She's an excellent coach. She's one of those type people that if you are stuck in a domestic violence situation, she's got the resources. She's the Harriet Tubman of narcissist abuse recovery and escape. She will help you get out of that situation. She's awesome, and she's very dedicated in getting you to safety. And once she gets you to safety, you got people like my mother, Helen Sadler, your destiny helper. As those of you know her as Apostle Helen Sadler, your destiny helper, who will also bring you the spiritual aspect of narcissist abuse. So please follow her on Clubhouse, follow her on Instagram, follow her on Facebook. A lot of you know she's also the pastor of Into His Chambers Global Ministry. Those of you, like I said, I do believe in the whole person concept. I know everyone is not a Christian, and we respect that. We do respect that. And, I'm not going to try to convert you while you're here, but I am saying for me, I'm a Christian. So I will tell you, if you don't have a church home, if you don't have anywhere to go for church, you haven't found anything that works for you, you have been church hurt or anything like that, go over to Into His Chambers Global Ministries and go and just follow the page. You'll see her on Thursdays. You'll see her on Sundays, twice on Sundays, 2 services on Sundays. You'll see us back there jumping around, and that is for your spiritual food. She talks about narcissism. She talks about the spiritual aspect of narcissism. I talk about the clinical and psychological aspect usually on my forum, I talk about the psychological aspect of narcissist abuse. When we go over to her channel on Tuesdays at 7:45, Pacific Standard Time, that is an opportunity where we can talk about the clinical side and integrate it with our belief system. And I do believe in the physiological, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your spirit. You are a whole person, and there's a lot to you in order to help you recover. Information is powerful. How do you apply that? You can have a lot of information, but how do you apply that information to recover, right? And so let's get started. So that's a little bit about me. And those of you that are on Clubhouse, that maybe this is your first time listening, thank you so much for joining me. Those of you that are new here on my Facebook and on my social media, please know that while I'm teaching is very rude. I'm just giving a disclaimer. It's very rude to have the entire conversation that has absolutely nothing to do with what the speaker is talking about. Never go on anybody's page and start having, the sidebar conversation have absolutely nothing to do with the topic at hand. Now, if you need assistance, like if you need the crisis line, the crisis number, or anything like that, Just Be Real is my moderator, and she does put that information up. Matter of fact, Cluster B, she also puts that information up if you need any information. Please do not post anything on here if it is not authorized. Just Be Real and Cluster B, Free Karen on here have the authority to block you. So please don't do that. Do not ever go to anybody's Facebook page and try to get yourself. I know, Pamela, that wasn't you, but please don't ever go to anybody's Facebook or any of their social medias and start advertising or soliciting your own services or trying to get people to go to other pages or just have whole conversation and never answer questions on behalf of the host. Yes, of course you share information. You've been through it too. Please do that. Yes, Telsha with the T on MPD is also a coach, so please follow her as well. So let's get started. That's enough chit chat, a little small talk. So tonight's topic is hope is the last thing to go, and they know. I like that. That kind of rhyme. But hope is the last thing to go, and they know. So first of all, let's go and look at the definition of what hope is. Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? Hey, Jael, Judge, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that whole thing. Sunshine, how you doing? Okay, so let's talk about hope. So hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. A feeling of trust. Many of you many of us that are not mentally ill or have mental illnesses like a narcissist, a personality disorder that interrupts your way of thinking and your socialization and your interaction with people. A person that has narcissistic personality disorder has problems when it comes to interacting with people in their job performances, with their families. They are chaotic individuals, angry, vindictive, lying individuals. They're not truthful. You can look them in the face, and 50% of what they're saying is truth, and 50% of what they're saying is a lie. So if you mix a lie with truth, it's a lie. And so you can listen to them, and if you listen close enough, you can hear them tell part of the truth and mix a lie into the truth, because they're never going to tell the truth. They are compulsive liars. These are things that are part of that personality. A lot of you have hope. That's what makes us non-dysfunctional, is that when we have hope for someone. Now, I'm gonna say this, and I know for some of you guys it's gonna hit you in your stomach. That's fine, don't worry about it. Let me say this before I say this, that you might get mad at me. It was the term insanity. The definition, there's two different definitions. One is the state of being seriously mentally ill or madness. That's not the part that I'm talking about. Insanity, extreme foolishness or irrationality. Let's see. Remember, insanity is extreme foolishness or irrationality, meaning that some of us have been insane when it comes to these individuals, because we have this extreme sense of foolishness and irrationality when it comes to that narcissist. Most people are in denial and don't want to believe they are what they are. Another one, you guys always hear the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, that comes from Albert Einstein. And he was the one who said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Now, that was Albert Einstein. So a lot of people, let me start stepping on some toes. Okay. You know me, I'm gonna keep it real. Let's keep it real. I was in that situationship myself, and to hear people have to tell me about myself was the most painful thing that I ever had to get out of denial and accept about myself. Because until you start accepting things about yourself or listening to people when they're talking to you about you, that's a hard thing. Because number one, it makes you feel like I'm the dysfunctional one. I keep doing it. I'm the one that's crazy. I'm the one, no, it's not. It's just that it hurts to, it's bad enough that a narcissist already made you feel less than, or made you feel stupid, or made you feel like you're the crazy one. And then for someone to come out of love to tell you certain things about yourself is even more painful, because it's almost like, what you're telling me hurts me just as much as what the narcissist is telling me. But the pain of a friend or a person that is trying to tell you something, that hurt is not to hurt you, but that hurt is the hurt of recovery. That hurt is getting out of denial and accepting certain things about yourself. And the one thing that we have to accept within ourselves is that we have hope. We always have hope. We always have a desire for people to be better than what they were before. That is how most of us got caught up in these situations and stayed for so long, because we always had the hope that this person will change. I can see where you can change. I can see where the goodness in you is. I can see, but it's just like a narcissist sabotages everything. It's a good thing, and then you sabotage everything. Everything is going well, then you sabotage everything. That is them. They are chaotic. But the person that has hope, and they know that you have hope, the person that has hope always thinks that I'm the one that they're going to change for. So some of you guys have these. Let me show you how the lie and the truth mixes in together. First of all, know that a narcissist is an emotional predator. They are an emotional predator. And unfortunately, they're also parasites. They're emotional predators and they're parasites. They thrive and live off of the emotions and the reactions of people. That is like an insulin shot. In order to regulate the sugar in the body, a person that has diabetes has to rely on insulin to keep the sugar levels in their body, the insulin levels calibrated. In other words, has to keep those insulin levels calibrated, that sugar calibrated, because the pancreas cannot process sugars, or food breakdown. I think it's breaking down sugars. So the same thing with a narcissist cannot regulate their own emotions. So they have to depend on other people to bring them joy. They never take accountability for their own problems. If a narcissist takes accountability for themselves, do know that there's a reason behind it. Do know that there is an ulterior motive behind it. They don't apologize unless there is an ulterior motive behind it. And they know that you have hope that this time they're going to change. This time it's different. Now, the few things, there's a lot of things that the old supplies know. Some of you have been in situationships with these narcissists 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. The things that you know is that narcissist never changes. They apologize, but after they get comfortable, they go right back into their own habits. They apologize, they get caught up in something. Then as things begin to smooth out and the emergency, the 911 of the possibility that you might leave starts to die down, and you have hope that this time you're going to change. This time you're going to see the value of me. This time you're going to do right. This time, if I threaten to leave, this time. But the thing that you don't take in consideration is every other relationship or situationship they've been in has been the same. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And they may tell you it wasn't as bad as the last relationship. In actuality, you're one of the worst ones too. And if you look back, they've never changed. They got worse and worse and worse and worse. They get to a point they just get out of control. It's like, because what is going to challenge them? Besides death and prison. But even in prison, they'll still act the same, so they'll never change. And so the one thing that supply, their hope is that I'm the one that's going to make you change. I'm the one that you've chosen, and I'm the one that's going to make you change. I'm going to be patient with you. I'm going to love you like no one has. Remember the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? And remember when Ike told Tina Turner, everybody always leaves me. I'll make them into a star. I do this, I do that, and everybody always leaves me. And Tina Turner, the actress, in the movie, but told him, I'll never leave you. She locked her own self in. I will never do what everybody else did and leave you. She locked herself into a promise, and he was abusing and misusing her. But she stayed because you made me a star, but I'm not going to leave because I have a hope. And the hope is that one day you're going to change, and I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to do like everybody else did. That's what that narcissist do. She'll throw things in your face to make you believe, see, this is what the other people did. So now that narcissist throws that in your face to challenge you because you have to do what the other people didn't do. What you don't realize is that they're manipulating you, and they're playing a psychological game with you. That psychological game is I'm going to throw this carrot out there. I'm going to throw this bait out there, and you're going to keep on chasing it. All I have to do is tell you what the other ones didn't do to make you do what you think that the other ones didn't do. If you talk to the other ones, you'll find out they did the same thing that you did. 30, 40, 50 years later, that narcissist is still doing the same thing. And then after all those years, you finally get tired, and you leave with hope that if I leave, they might change for someone else. They ain't never changed all this time. A narcissist won't change. They can't change. They have a personality disorder. It is ingrained in them. And the longer they do this, think about it, the longer a person stays in their ways, the worse those ways get. And what is the point of changing? It is a permanent character flaw. And they're not going to change. But that hope is what locks you in. And they know, because they are manipulative, they know all I have to do is say it the right way, make love to you the right way, bring you something that I've never brought you before, say things to you that you're desiring to hear. They always keep you on the edge, because when they punish you, they take away from you. When they're comfortable, they take away from you. They don't have the capacity to love you the way that you love them. And so they know where you're desperate at. You're desperate for attention. You're desperate to be loved. You're desperate for affection. You're desperate for touch. And they take it away from you to cause you to always run behind that first high. And anytime they feel threatened that you might leave, they'll throw you those breadcrumbs. They'll throw it to you to make you, it's almost like you gorge. It's almost like you overdo it. And you high off of what you're getting from them. That's sad though. You get high off the crumbs, and they see you get high off the crumbs, but they know they'll punish you the moment that you don't comply or do what they want you to do. One of the things, I used to work at a casino, I started off as a token girl. So I used to walk around and sell tokens. So I used to watch, I used to work with the slot machines. So I had the opportunity not just to walk amongst the slot machine and sell the coins, but also to go up to the poker tables and walk downstairs by the blackjack tables and the craps tables. So I used to watch people as they were gambling. And I remember, you guys remember Kenny G? I remember Kenny G coming into the casino. He came in with 2 suitcases full of money, and he put this. They had security, and he set the briefcase right there, opened it up, had money, and he was playing blackjack. And those waitresses that came by, he was giving them black chips. He was tipping them $500 chips, those black chips. He was giving them black chips. So all the waitresses wanted to work at his table because they were getting that $500 tip. So up on the other floors, slot machines, and then at the top floor was the poker tables. Poker tables kind of private, in the private areas, but every person was chasing that high. Every person was chasing that dream. Now, I got promoted to the captain's club. I used to work at the President Casino in Gulfport, Mississippi, and I got promoted to. I applied and I got the hostess job, and I was on the captain's club. And so I worked as a hostess, and our job was to get them cars signed up for cards, so we can watch them play on the computers, and then we would send out like the hostesses that work with the high rollers, and so we can get on the computer to look. Once you have that card in there, we can track you on the computer to see how you play, and people will sit there all day and all night playing these slot machines. They would take their money, and they were so addicted to the machine, and they were hoping to win. They had a dream to win the $25,000. We had $25 slot machines, and then we had $50 slot machines. And there was one lady used to sit and play the $50 slot machine. She was very wealthy, and she used to play the $50 slot machine, $50 slot machine. And I remember she won $25,000. So check this out. Let me show you the psychology behind in the gambling in the casino. And so she won $25,000. So what happens? All the bells go off. Ding, 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 ding. You got all these people running to the floor. You got the supervisors coming out in the red jackets. You got it was the high roller hostess coming out. The high roller hostess even look different than what we look. The high roller hostesses come out there. You got the managers coming out, and they're cheering and they're talking. They're making a big hoopla. And so the emotions are high. The ladies' emotions are high. Let me sign you up to get you a free hotel stay. We'll make sure that you have food to eat over at the hotel. We're going to make sure that you have transportation back and forth. All this stuff. So what I did was I went over to the computer to look into the computer to see how much money did she actually spend to win $25,000. Even in the casino as an employee, the value of money started decreasing because $25,000 wasn't a lot. Now, y'all know $25,000 is a lot of money. You know what I mean? But $25,000 got to a point where it wasn't very much money to us. And so when I went to look to see that she won $25,000, what some people did not know is she spent $75,000. So in actuality, think about the reverse psychology. The actuality was they were celebrating her losing $50,000. But it was reverse psychology, the lights, the actions, the adrenaline pumping, the free food, the hotel stay, the royal treatment. That is what that narcissist does to the supply. And that hope, because it's the hope that I'm going to win 25,000. It's the hope that I'm going to win this. They got to give her something so she can keep on coming back, because the next day she came back and she was playing again. I don't know if you guys know Bobby Blue Bland. I didn't even know Bobby Blue Bland was blind, but he was playing on a $50 slot machine, and he won, and he filled the machine, but he was spending thousands of dollars to win just a little bit on the machine. So think about the psychology of what was happening. Everything was reversed. In actuality, they weren't celebrating her winning. Yeah, they were showing that they were celebrating $25,000 win because they didn't know that we can look into the computer, and they knew we could look into the computer to look to see how much money she was spending. She spent $75,000 and won $25,000. She lost $50,000. So they were celebrating the casino getting $50,000 from this woman. So because we've given her $25,000 back of her $75,000, we're going to celebrate her and treat her like royalty, because tomorrow she's going to come and she'll probably spend even more. she'll probably spend even more money. That is what that narcissist does. They play on your hope. Hope that I'm going to change. Hope that I'll do better. And I'm always going to breadcrumb you. I'm always going to make you think, because I'm a hoover you, and I'm a love bomb you different ways, in the ways that I know you desire. If I don't spend time with you, I'll make sure that I'm going to look, and I'm going to spend time with them on Friday to Saturday. I'm going to give them everything they want. I'm going to take them out to eat. I'm going to watch TV with them. I'm going to cook for them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to love you so hard. I'm going to give you everything you want. And then I'm going again. I'm gonna leave the house. I'm gonna do whatever I got to do, because I don't have a lot of time for you. But I'm gonna call you baby. I'm gonna call you honey, sugar baby, whatever, Superman, Superwoman, whatever. I'm gonna call you all these pet names. When I get out in public, I'm gonna let everybody know you my baby. I'm gonna let everybody know how much I love you. I can never do this without you, baby. I can never do, and this is my and if it wasn't for her, I would have died. If it wasn't for him, I would have died. And I wouldn't have made it. And they kept me sane. And they kept me from. And the last people that I was with, the last situationships that I was in, or relationships that I was in, they didn't make me feel the way that you made me feel. They didn't love me the way that you love me. I couldn't get this from them, because they were like this. See, they know you. They've studied you. They've investigated you. They know what your weaknesses and your strengths are. You might be a strong person. You don't really cry a lot. So they know that's not how they're going to get you. But you might be an emotional person. So they become emotional just like you. But everything is a game of, I know that you still have hope. And I'm going to string you along to keep that hope going, because you always have the hope that I'm going to change and just be you. A narcissist cannot be caught. A narcissist cannot be caught. You'll never, that's like a fish, a slippery fish. You'll never catch the narcissist. Never. They give you what they want to give you, and they're never dedicated to you. And the hard part about it is that many people are in denial. I know she loves me. I know he loves me. He don't love you. She don't love you. It's a game. It's a game of survival. I need a supply to help me survive. And the only reason why they haven't gone anywhere is because they have not had the opportunity to train anybody else and groom anybody else to the level at which you have been abused. Because the average person is not going to be able to handle that type of abuse unless you came out of that type of abuse. And so you can handle this type of abuse. And the main supply is the most abused. The other people don't get abused. And so you look to see, why does he or she treat other people better than they treat me? One day they're going to treat me like that. They used to treat me like that. There's your hope. You're hoping again. You're hoping again. The biggest thing is you're going to have to come to the reality that the person is not going to change. I know you have hope, but if I leave, they may change. They ain't changed this far. So why are they going to change now? And you're looking at, but they may treat the other one better. They always treat the other one better until they get them locked in. And then the old them come right back out. Any type of change that the narcissist make is never permanent. They can't hold on to that change. They can't maintain that change. They have to go back to the way that they were. They can't stay there. They cannot stay in a good place. That is impossible for them. So hopefully this has helped you tonight. I said a mouthful. Hopefully this has helped you tonight. Hope is the last thing to go, and they know it. But you got to know when you got to go, and you have to look. Don't look at it as a loss. Look at it as a win. I got away. I got away with my mind, with my sanity. There are people that have stayed so long, they have lost their minds. They're dealing with migraines. They're dealing with fibromyalgia. They're dealing with gastrointestinal issues. They're dealing with IBS. They're dealing with Crohn's disease. They're dealing with neurological problems. They're dealing with nerve problems in their back. They're dealing with spinal issues, hair loss. Your hair is thinning. You look old. You look like the crypt. You're 20 years old and you look like the crypt keeper. You bent over like an old person. You look in the mirror, you look at a picture and you look at yourself now. You've aged. Your lips have gotten dark. Your eyes have crow's feet, and you're 12. You look much older than what you really are. I looked at some of my pictures, like the kids say, bruh. I looked at some of my pictures. I'm like, I was probably this weight that I am now. And I'm a fluffy girl, but I was swollen. I was swollen with stress, and I was on medication. And I was just swollen. I'm a shapely girl. I'm shapely. I have a shape, but I was just swollen. It was like I was bloated. My face was bloated. My body was bloated. I'm gonna put some pictures out there. My body was bloated, and then I lost weight, and then I lost too much weight, and then I looked like the crypt keeper. My face was all sucked in. I looked like I was hungry. I looked like y'all need to sponsor me as y'all need to sponsor me so I can get some food. It was bad. Then it got to a point. I used to be very fashionable. I used to wear makeup, and I used to model. I used to be an amateur model. I used to do a lot of fashion shows. I used to do pageants. I used to do. I used to be a DJ. And I looked good. I knew how to dress. But then I got with this individual, and I got out the military. It's like I didn't even know how to dress anymore because everything. Let me tell you something. I was called fat and nasty. I'm like, where did this come from? How you call your wife fat and nasty? You know what I mean? I mean, anything. So I didn't know how to dress. I didn't know if I was supposed to wear that. Does that look good? I don't, just didn't know how to dress. Oh my God, it was horrible. Now I'm in my zone again. Now I'm in my zone again. And some of you guys are the same way. You used to be able to dress. Then all of a sudden, you don't know how to dress. If I walk out in a paper bag, maybe that'll work for me. No matter what you do with your hair, your eyes, your makeup, your lashes, your fingernails, your clothes, no matter what you do, it's always not good enough. So some of you guys like, well, I'm gonna walk around butt naked. That's what I'm gonna do. Because you don't even know how you're supposed to look. You know what I mean? And some of you guys, once you come out of it though, when that fog lifts and your brain starts to clear out and you start feeling better, your body starts feeling better, you can sleep at night. Some of you guys not even getting any sleep. You got anxiety, you got depression, you're on all sorts of medication. You're on medication to wake you up. You're on medication to put you to sleep. You're on medication to make you're not even happy. Medication just make you, so you don't have any emotions back and forth. So you're not struggling. Some of you guys have anxiety. You're on anxiety medication. Then the anxiety medication make you anxious. So it's like your body is off whack. You're toxic because you're connected to the wrong person. And the thing is you're in denial. You are in denial to a point where you really believe in your heart that this person is going to change because you love them and you know that love conquers all things. It ain't going to conquer a narcissist because they have to want to change. And most narcissists don't see anything wrong with themselves. It's all you. They never take accountability for themselves. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if they apologize and if they take accountability, always know in the back of your head, what is the motive? Why are you apologizing? Why are you so sincere? What then happened? What is going on? What is happening? What is the ulterior motive? Something is going on. Something ain't right. And some of you guys that experienced that holiday Hoover, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Just keep your guards up. Something ain't right. What is going on? Narcissists, the sad part about a narcissist, well, not the sad part, but a sad thing about it is that, a lot of you look at them, they're so smart, they're always getting away. They're very predictable if you pay attention. Very, very predictable. And those of you that were in long-term situationships with them, they're predictable. The thing about it is the new supply doesn't know them the way that you know them. That's why their hope is going on and on and on and on and on and on. Eventually they're going to get tired. Eventually they're going to figure it out. But the thing about it is you know them and they're very predictable. The new supply doesn't know them the way that you know them. So they have to go through it. That's why it's not good to go and try to tell the new supply about this narcissist. You have to let them find out for themselves because they're going to get tired. After a while, I'm like, okay, this person is doing the same thing over and over again, doing the same thing over and over again, and you're expecting a change. That's called insanity. That's irrational. That's irrational thinking. They're not going to change, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going to change. You have to find a way out of it. Now, true enough, let me put the disclaimer out there. Those of you that have children, you just can't jump up and leave with your children thinking I'm getting ready to leave because I'm being abused. It's not documented. You don't have no police reports. And so what that narcissist do would take you right on the court and say you kidnapped the kids. They put an APB out there on you. All of a sudden, there's an Amber Alert with your car tag number. We calling in because we seen your car. Don't realize you trying to get away from the narcissist, but you did it the wrong way. That's why community is important. That's why the crisis hotline is important. That's why getting connected. If you connect to the crisis hotline, they will connect you to the domestic violence programs that are in your state and in your community, so you can get someone to document and help you to get out of your situation, get you into a shelter. Don't be ashamed. You better swallow your pride, get yourself into a shelter, because those women and well, I don't know about the men, but I know those women that are in shelters, especially with children, usually have first priority when it comes to housing. And housing situation is not good right now, but a lot of the priority goes to those women and children that are in a shelter, that need shelter. Those of you that need to be relocated, they got relocation programs, that will help relocate you and change your identity. If you have to get away from one that is dangerous, one that is malignant, So don't just jump out of the house with your kids thinking, I'm just going to leave because they're abusing me. No, what you might want to do is make sure you call a crisis hotline, let them help you get a plan together, and let them get a plan together with you so that you can get out and it's documented. So if you have to go to court, you got an advocate that has documented what is going on and the fact that they've helped you get into a shelter, and they will advocate for you in the court system. Amber said, my heart goes out to survivors that have children with narcs. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to think about your future and that of your children. Absolutely, just be real. Absolutely. That's why I called the domestic violence shelter and took off for my kids. Go ahead, Denise. Go ahead. All right, you guys. So just be real. Give me about 10 minutes. And if you guys have questions here on the visual apps, give me a minute, Clubhouse. I'm gonna spend about 10 minutes answering questions here, and then I will switch over to Clubhouse if anybody would like to ask me any questions on Clubhouse. So if any of you guys would like to ask any questions here on these social media, please ask me the questions, and I will answer your questions. Deshaun said, "Hey nephew, also 3 months out, I think I stayed for 2 years because of the hot and cold treatment. Yep, loving and nice, then acted rude, called me every name in the book. See, and they don't start. Yes, starting now." Princess says, "Yes, I have 3." Yvonne, ask your question. Ask your question. Hey, Latoya, how are you? You're welcome. You are welcome, Princess. What happens to them if you give up hope and change yourself? That's all you can do. It don't matter. It don't matter what happened to them. When you give up and you finally start changing, after a while, you could care less if they lick a window. I always say you lick a window. Cluster B Free has put the domestic violence hotline out there for you guys. It will get you in touch with the domestic violence advocates in your local area. But that's the whole purpose. You can't change a narcissist. Most people want to change or get help to change the narcissist. Most people seek help so they can figure out how to change the narcissist or how to make the narcissist change. Well, when you're doing that, that's hopeless. You see what I mean? That's hopeless because you should be trying to change yourself. I began thinking about changing my mind, changing myself, getting myself on my feet. When I did that, I gave up hope on the narcissist, and I finally walked out. I walked away, and I gave up. And I know for a fact that the narcissist hasn't changed. They gotten worse, worse than what they were before. A hot mess, a little terror, a Tasmanian devil. But I realized that they'll never change. They don't change. And I'm grateful. I'm thankful that I got out of that situation because I ain't got time to swell up and look like the Nutty Professor or who is that? Rasputia. You know what? I got too much to live for, y'all. They make you sick. You die early. You got all sorts of ailments, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high eyebrows, split ends, all sorts of stuff. I'm joking, y'all. They changed for the worse. I've dealt with this by myself for 3 years until I saw these videos. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If you write a whole lot, I don't have an opportunity to read it because so many people are connected on my social app that the questions go up really, really fast. Christopher said, yes, still a narcissist, never change. Absolutely. A narcissist is a narcissist is a narcissist. And you have to let that register in your mind. They are a narcissist. A snake is a snake. A snake don't change. A snake don't make up their mind and say, I'm going to be a leopard. A leopard don't change their stripes. A leopard always is a tiger. Tiger don't change their stripes. Tiger don't change their stripes. They can't wake up one morning and decide they're going to be a grizzly bear. It ain't going to happen. Can a narcissist be codependent? So when I teach about codependency and dependency, you got to remember, and if you go back and listen to, I don't recall which one that Apostle Sadler did on one of her clubhouses, but we talked about the codependency and dependency cycle, and it started off with alcoholic families. In the alcoholic families, you have one person. No, I think it was Bishop Kathy's program, My Life is Intentional. Go back and find her, Kathy Gibson, on Instagram. And I think we talked about it on there. But it started off with alcoholic families. The alcoholic families, drug addicted families, and you have that one person that is the sick person, the person that is addicted, and everybody orbits around the sick person. You usually have that main supply, especially with the narcissist, that's the sick person, and you have like a codependent that is a codependent on that person being sick. And so that codependent does everything. They enable that dependent to remain dependent on the codependent. And that codependent's job is to make sure that everybody stays in line and in their position in the family. Scapegoat, quiet child, the clown, the golden child. Everybody plays a role, and they make sure that everybody plays a role to appease their God, which is that dependent. And so most of the time, they can be codependent if they have like a parent that was a narcissist, and so they play a role within the family as being codependent on that narcissistic parent. If they're, like you have a narcissist that's codependent on the narcissistic parent, but usually when they have their own family unit, they are the dependent. They're dependent on all the codependents being dependent on them, because everybody orbits around them. Everybody life is around them. They are the sun, and everybody, if you look at a narcissist, that is their whole attitude. Everything revolves around me. It's about me. It's about me. What about me? What do you mean you're hurting? A narcissist can apologize to someone, and after they're finish apologizing to someone, they have manipulated so much that that person begins to feel sympathy for them and begin to apologize to the narcissist, begin to comfort the narcissist, begin to try to make the narcissist feel good about themselves. And it's the narcissist that did but by the time you through 5 minutes, okay, but by the time you through talking to that narcissist, you didn't apologize, you didn't comforted the narcissist, and you think, and I'm, most of us are thinking like, well, dang, well, who was the one who committed the crime? Who was the one who did it? You know what I mean? They keep you confused. Yes. He explained very well how the family breaks exactly after the alcoholic get fixed. Yeah. If you guys ever watch My 600-Pound Life, watch that, and then watch like After My 600-Pound Life, where that you see, like, you have these people that are enablers. A lot of times, you have the enablers that keep them fat. That the obese individual is totally dependent on, because of the fact that they bring them their food, they enable them, they take care of them, they bathe them, they take them to the doctor's appointment, all this. So they're totally dependent on their spouse or this family member, right? But then you'll notice that as the obese individual begins to lose weight, becomes more mobile, starts looking good, starts having more freedom, can drive for themselves, start looking for a job, go get themselves fixed up, that enabler who is codependent on that sick person begins to feel out of place, because I need to be needed. I need to feel like I'm needed. And if you get well, I'm not worth anything. So my worth is predicated on you being sick. That codependent's worth is predicated on that narcissist being a narcissist. And you're stuck in this cycle. And so if you notice on My 600-Pound Life, many times when they lose weight, get themselves back in life, the person that they were married with or the person that they were close with, they ended up breaking up with them. 3 minutes? Okay. But they end up breaking up. So you notice like a lot of them broke up, ex-wives and ex, a lot of them broke up because that codependent is so codependent on that person being sick, that when you get better, I have no worth. I need to be needed. There's nothing for me to do because now you are on your own. Munch houses by proxy is totally different. That's totally different. Let's see. I like that show. Yeah. I think I watched the show because of the psychological behind it. And those people that you see, it's almost like you see them stuck in their pain and their hurt. And if you listen to a lot of them that go into therapy, a lot of them that go into therapy have been sexually molested, have been violated, have been abused, misused, rejected, neglected. You hear a lot of trauma. And so food becomes their comfort. Food becomes their drug. And it gets so out of hand that they now are stuck in their bodies. And even some of them that have the surgery, a lot of the percentage is very low that maintains that weight loss. They look good. And then you see them again, they gain all the weight back. and worse, they stretch that stomach out again. It teaches you a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Is codependency the other side of the coin of narcissist? No, no. So, Talia, I hope I answered that question. They lie even when you show the receipts and deny, deny, deny. Yeah, exactly, Christopher. Exactly. It gets to a point where, like, why are you trying to prove yourself to the narcissist? Because they're going to gaslight you. They're going to crazy make. So you can show them all the receipts. They'll turn those receipts around and make you feel like you're crazy. Like those receipts don't even exist. Yeah. Deny, deny. Yep. Deny, deny. Crazy making. Yeah. Nicole, I believe it. Time. Okay. Yeah. Most people are trauma bonded to that narcissist. Absolutely. And my biggest thing, you're welcome. My biggest thing is make sure you it says I was watching it and they said that the surgery often leaves them craving alcohol or drugs. Yeah. Yeah. Because they can't, that they grieve the fact that they don't have the food anymore. That's the sad part about it, is they get the surgery and then they have the psychological craving for the food, not the actual like Dr. Can't think of his name, but what he said is that once I do the surgery, I have taken the craving for food away. You don't have hunger pains. There, you should not be any hunger pains. If you're still having hunger pains, then it's a psychological hunger pain. And a lot of them have not addressed their issues or stayed in therapy long enough to address their issues where they still have that psychological craving, so they find something else because they get depressed because they can't eat anymore. The food has been taken away, so now they're depressed. So they find something else in order to replace the food for many of them that can't eat. Yeah. So listen, you guys. So my time is up. I want to respect the time, and I'm gonna come over here to Clubhouse so that I can spend maybe like 10 minutes answering some question on Clubhouse. I really appreciate you guys. I know this week I wasn't on. I got some merchandise coming out. I got some overcoming narcissist abuse, go be great merch. So I got some and you guys are gonna like it. You're gonna like it. It's not your average merchandise, but it is go let me be great or go be great merch. And I did this because sometimes when you begin feeling good about yourself and you look good, you start feeling good, and you get your bounce back, you get your, Stella done got her groove back, y'all done got your groove back. And so you guys just I'm setting up my Etsy shop. I'm setting up my Etsy shop so I can connect it to my social media, and I don't have the inventory. So everything that I do when you order is made to order. But you guys are really, really going to enjoy the merch that I'm going to be offering you guys. And so I want you guys to stay tuned. I'm still working on my class, the behavior modification class, for those that have children that are showing some behavior signs, but to help you to parent those children and get your authority back in your house. So you guys just give me some time. It takes a minute to write these courses. And then, in the future, I would like to certify the courses. So those of you that are in mental health or social work services, I'm trying to set it up where you can get continuing education hours for it. So I just have to set it up first. So those of you that are over on Clubhouse as well, or if you're not, those of you asking what is Clubhouse, just go to your app store on your phone, download Clubhouse, sign up for it, and then look for me. I'm under Overcoming Narc Abuse, or you can find me under Carmen Bryant. And then just, like me, join me, follow me, and then you can come on here and you can actually talk to me. And so those of you that would like to come over to Clubhouse, you guys come on over to Clubhouse. I'm gonna be here for 10 more minutes to talk on Clubhouse, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Okay. So thank you guys so much for being here. I wasn't there last week. I had a lot going on. Hopefully this week I have a little more freedom, so that I can come on and do some more of my TikToks and my my car chronicles. Thank you guys so much for your support. Do know that on here, you can send me stars. Now, I don't mean you get on there and just send a star. Star means that you're actually donating money for me to keep the content going and to grow my audience and to grow. When it comes to content creation, when it comes to course and stuff, they cost, because you got to have a platform to do it, which costs every month. Then on top of that, creating merchandise that costs because you got to get the supplies in. So I got like 18 things going on at one time. But a lot of times it takes a minute to put everything together. And then when you get everything together, you get your flow going. So I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you guys here supporting me. Thank you for liking my videos. Thank you for coming on to Facebook. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys had a beautiful Thanksgiving. For those of you still in your situation, continue to watch the videos until you get your courage up and you get your strength out to go. Don't let anybody press you. I want you to stay safe because some of these narcissists are crazy. But, don't let anybody, make you feel crazy about the fact that you haven't jumped up and left yet. You have to build your strength up. You have to build your courage up. You have to build your knowledge base up. And then you make your exit plan. You got people out there that will assist you with doing that. So you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna call you tomorrow, Mimi, and I'll probably text you tonight, but I'm gonna call you tomorrow for sure because I got to ask you something. But you guys have a beautiful evening, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you guys. You guys go be great. Have a good evening, okay? Good night, everybody. Good night, Facebook and Instagram and all y'all.